the show premiered. Meghan McCain came out with a column saying that the show was too PC. It was trying to do too much at once. Cynthia, what's your reaction to that?
What's my reaction?
Yeah.
I mean, I disagree. I mean, I feel like the show, the show became so beloved, right? And then now in reruns for all of these years. I mean, you said 15 years. I have a very keen meter of how long this show has been on, because when my oldest child was 8 months old, we did the pilot. My oldest child is going to be 26 this year. So it's a long time. And I feel like people have watched it and they know it so well, inside and out. And when you know something that's so familiar, it becomes tame. But I think that people forget how incendiary the show was, and how not just only because of the sexual frankness and the conversations and the scenes of sex, but how revolutionary this was to show back in the day for women having a lot of sex with a lot of different partners who were, marriage was kind of, out there in the ether, but not necessarily something they were pursuing or even, had made up their minds about. And I think, I remember so well the initial chatter about the show, the first at least couple seasons, saying these were not really women. Women don't really have sex like this. Women don't really talk like this. These are not women. These are gay men in drag, And I think that it's the show has, because people know it so well, they've sort of enshrined it in nostalgia, but this is a show that has always pushed every kind of boundary. And I think that that's what's so magnificent about the new show, about how many different directions we're going in that, and pushing boundaries and shaking people up. And, I think most importantly, shaking the characters up, because we don't want to see these characters, either the familiar ones or the newly introduced ones. We don't want to see them comfortable. We want to see them out of their comfort zones.
Right.
I think also,
can I say something? I have something,
wanted to
Andy.
Say,
go Nicole.
I was just going to say that comments like that always seem more about the person saying them.
Totally.
What's too much, it's, maybe in your living room or when you step outside, it looks the same as inside, and you go to the grocery store and it's the same. And maybe it is too much for you, but for these characters in New York City, it's not.
That's a really good answer.
It is a good answer. Can I say something else, Andy?
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought this through, because we're in it. Obviously, we all care, so much about our show and our characters and what we're going to do. And I hadn't really thought about this till it was over. But if you think about it, we took our characters, we put them in a different show with a different name. We brought in new people, and we changed the characters somewhat. Obviously, my character not changing that much, but I can't think of another situation where someone has done that with a show. Like, you see reboots with new casts, or you see like the same thing or whatever. But I hadn't really realized how much we were different. And I think people don't really know how to think about it. And I think Cynthia was right when she said, don't think about it as the old show. That will free you to experience it. And also, I didn't really understand, and I give all of our writers and Sarah Jessica and Michael for coming up with the idea in the first place so much credit, because it gives so much possibility, and we are living in a different time, and it brings all of that in a way that I found very organic, because the three of us are still there struggling, as you see, to roll with what's happening. And I hadn't really realized that I can't think of another show that's done that. So when I tell myself that, it makes me understand the comments better.
I mean, it's different. It's different, obviously, but the only kind of thing in my mind that when I was before we did the show, when I was trying to imagine it, was taking Ed Asner's character off the Mary Tyler Moore Show and creating Lou Grant, right? Which was take this beloved character from the half-hour comedy, put him in an hour-long drama, but he's still the same person, but the world around him is different.